Hey guys, my name is ScreaM from Team Liquid. Today we're doing the first episode of Valorant Fundamentals. I'm gonna try to give you some advices on how to improve your aim on Valorant. I think mine is good, so I'll try to give you some good advices to get some more one-taps. Let's get into the video, guys. So before I start the game, I always warm up my wrists because I know how important it is for two reasons. Just to get rid of some potential injuries in the future and also to get the blood flowing in better, so you move better, you have a better feeling and you just take care of your wrists. Like the exercises I do to warm up my wrists are very simple. It's just like you wanna have it tense a little bit, just push it a little bit, and you do this on both arms. You switch it up, like you do different angles. I don't have a specific routine, but I just do this kind of stuff and like for like 5-10 minutes, take care of it and make the blood flow in. That's the most important. Personally, how often I take breaks when I play, after every game I take 5 minutes to stretch every time. My body, my hands, everything. I would say 5 minutes every hour, take a breath, stretch. So for me, it's very important to be able to move around very easy in the game, like to be able to dodge flashes, to turn around fast. But at the same time, having a high sense has bad things as well. Precision with high sense is very hard to handle, like you need to be very precise. I'm gonna try to give you some advice on how to find your sensitivity in game. There's two things important when I talk sensitivity. It's the fact that you can be able to dodge, to turn around when the enemy is behind you as well. When you do flick, like this, you need to be able to be precise, right? Like when you do it like this. And that's when you know where you're gonna feel good with your sensitivity or not. Either you have a low or high sensitivity, you're able to do this kind of stuff. And if it's too high for you, then make it a bit lower. If it's too low, you make it a bit higher. As soon as you get the flick perfectly, then I think you stay with this sense, you master it. And yeah, man, that's the most important. You need to feel good about the sensitivity. Alright guys, so now we have our sensitivity, we are ready to warm up before every official game, before every ranked or whatever. To warm up my aim, I always do the same stuff. When I get into range, I just move around a little bit. And then as soon as I do this, I go in the practice room. I make sure the bots are not moving and I'm not moving. So on the horizontal line, I just like from left to right, I try to not move. I change like kind of shooting, I do bursting. I try to warm up every way of shooting. It's very important, you know, because in a game you have a lot of situations where you have to shoot differently. So after that, I like to play with jet. I just like do some movements. I try to get the keyboard in as well. My left and my right hand has to warm up, you know, it's not only the mouse, it's also about the movements. I don't do it all the time, but after that I go deathmatch. 1-2 this deathmatch, it depends on how I feel with my aim, but if I feel like it's enough, I'm not gonna force it. That's only for warm up, right? But if you wanna improve your aim, you need to do a lot more. It's like at the gym. You do some reps, but it's only gonna pump it up. If you wanna work it, you have to go hard. You need to do more reps, you know, it's the same thing. So this step is the most important in the game in my opinion, the crosshair placement. That's how you get the kills in the game basically. If you have a good vision on the game, if you have a good crosshair placement, you get away with a lot of kills. First of all, I would say always keep your crosshair at the height of the head, every time. Force yourself, that's the first thing. Not too high, not too low, just at the good head height. And that's something you can practice in the range as well. Obviously, you can always like do this kind of exercise here, just like follow the head. Force yourself of following the head all the time. And yeah, at some point it's gonna be natural. So that's the first thing. Second thing is about how you're gonna hold the angle, right? This is something very important that's gonna make you win a lot of duels. And I mean, in this game, obviously you have the picker advantage, but most of the time you also have advantage when you hold the angle, if you hold it right. This is how I hold the angle, okay? You need to be anticipating how the guy is gonna pick. You can't aim like this to left side. You can't aim like at the wall. You need to aim at the height of the head all the time, every angle. You know, not too close to the wall, because if the guy wide swing, then it's gonna be bad for you. You need to aim at the perfect point between the peak and the jiggle peak, so you can always adjust easier. That's something you can practice on the range as well, the crosshair placement. Always head, and always when you hold angle, always leave a little gap. I think you guys should try this crosshair placement right now and practice it. It's gonna make you way better than you are. Sometimes it's hard to predict every peak, of course, but most of the time it depends on the situations you are on. If the guy doesn't know where you are, he's most likely not gonna jiggle peek, right? Like if you're holding a good off angle somewhere and like they have no idea you were there, then he's not gonna be ready for you basically. But in this situation where the guy knows where you are and he's gonna peek you, then that becomes a little bit tricky. But then you have to be very calm. Keep your cursor very ready for the white swing in your head, not too far away, because if the guy peeks on the corner, there's a lot of different peaks. You can pick like very close to the corner, you can go like for the white peak, you can like go for the jiggle peak like this. So there's a lot of things you need to handle in a duel like this. So having the cursor in the middle of all these situations and just adjusting at the end, you know, small adjustments, this is how I see it, you know. Don't move when I shoot. That's the first rule, right? You need to have a good control on your A and D, you know, or Q, D, like whatever, left and right. I have the exercise here. You move, and then at some point you can just like, okay, go. And then you stop and you shoot. Okay, go. Stop, shoot. Stop, shoot. This is gonna help you a lot on how to synchronize the movement and the shooting at the same time. So on Valorant, it's a little bit tricky to jiggle peek because there's a lot of tagging in the game. So basically, if someone hits you, they can just like spray the wall and make you a lot of damage. In this game, it's very hard. You need to be careful when you do this. If you want to take information, you can just like jump peek like this. I think this is the best way to do it, to get rid of like any danger. Because if you do this, like this is very dangerous basically, because you have time to shoot it, and also if there's someone holding, like you can always get headshotted. So jump peeking like this, if you want to get information somewhere, is very good. So now I told you guys on how to improve your aim. I'm gonna now answer some questions of you guys. So the first question is by Danny KSZ. So how to get confidence in entry fragging? So the most important thing I think as an entry fragging is, you know, to be fearless, of course. But I think it's very risky. You have to take some risk at some point as well. Stand on the setup on defense of the other guys, right? Of the enemy team. If you have a good idea on how they play on defense and you understand their setups, you understand who plays where, it's gonna give you a better idea on how to entry. You need to understand on how to use your teammates as well, the support players you have. You need to use them for your advantage, you know, like a Sova, like a Sky, like this kind of agent, Breach, you know, to help you out, even like smokers, like Omen. Because doing something by yourself is very difficult. You always have to use your teammates in when you entry. It's never gonna be by yourself. You need to really combo things. Valorant is only about combos, so that's how you get better at entries. So next question is by Serial LV. How important it is to keep the same sensitivity on the long term? I think for me this is one of the key points in how to be consistent and how to master your sensitivity, because as I said earlier in the video, the muscle memory is very important. Mastering your sensitivity is one of the keys in an FPS game, because all the adjustments, you know, the aim, these kind of things requires a lot of muscle memory. If you change sensitivity, your muscle memory is gonna be, you know, it's gonna be lost, you know. So you need to be careful with that. Don't change too much sensitivity. So the next question is very interesting by Milan Haver. How do you know when you have to use a way of shooting? So tapping, burst, spray. And I think it becomes natural after some point when you play some DM, when you understand what's the best way to use at the perfect time. How I see it, I'm gonna tell you how I see it. So spray, obviously you can forget about this. Obviously I don't spray, only with the Phantom. When I spray, yeah, like it means it's a very close range, or I'm in a very bad situation, you know, like there's abilities coming on me, like I'm in a very bad position, then I have to adjust and just spray fast because I'm in the bad situation. But I think in this game bursting is the best thing. So when I say bursting, I talk two bullets minimum and like 5 bullets max. This is what I use the most, especially with the Phantom as well. With the Vandal, I try to take my time more with the Vandal, try to one-tap a little bit more, especially on long distance. Try to take your time, that's the most important thing, I think. So the next question is by Valorant Esports EU. So thank you for your question. So what do you think about your teammates Crosshair? I mean, yeah, I think we're gonna have a very serious talk after this, because yeah, I'm not happy. I'm not happy with what I saw.
What is that, Crosshair? Get that out of my face, Ling.
You know, I think Crosshair is very personal. Like any Crosshair could be good, but you don't troll too much, right? Don't troll too much. Thank you guys for watching this video, guys. I hope my advice has helped you. Hopefully you guys gonna hit more one-taps. Make sure you let me know in the comments how you liked it, and if you have any suggestions, it's really welcome, guys. Thank you for watching, and see ya, guys.